Be me, Alex, Senior Network Architect for Ether Dynamics. Been here 11 years. My domain is the humming sanctuary of the server room, the intricate web of fiber optic cables, and the impenetrable fortress of our firewalls. My job is stability. My life is uptime. Be not me, Dr. Quentin Thorne, new Chief Innovation Officer 6 weeks into his tenure. Fresh from a venture-funded startup that imploded spectacularly, leaving a trail of investor lawsuits and unfulfilled promises. He walked in like he owned the place, a permanent smirk plastered across his angular face, designer suit jacket perpetually unbuttoned. He called himself a visionary. I called him a disaster waiting for a network connection. His first week, he demanded full admin access to our production customer relationship management database, said he needed to intuit user flows. I politely informed him that per company policy and industry best practices, C-suite executives do not get direct production database access, especially not read-write, especially not without any prior technical vetting. He scoffed, said I was stifling innovation. My supervisor, a weary veteran named Brenda, backed me up. Dr. Thorne eventually settled for read-only access to a sanitized, anonymized staging environment after 3 days of passive-aggressive emails. I logged every single one. A few days later, he wanted to deploy his Ether Stream concept, a direct, unencrypted data pipeline from our customer-facing web servers straight to a third-party analytics platform he'd used at his last company. No security review, no data privacy assessment, just an immediate, unmitigated torrent of personally identifiable information. I explained that this violated no less than 4 sections of our data handling policy, 2 industry compliance certifications, and could land us in serious trouble with Viridia City's stringent privacy regulations. He leaned back in his expensive chair, hands steepled. Alex, he purred, you're a network guy, you build roads, I build hyperloops, get out of my way. Brenda stepped in again, politely but firmly. We had to involve legal, who immediately red-flagged Dr. Thorne's proposal. He retreated, seething, blaming old guard obstructionism in a company-wide email that Brenda very subtly countered with a reminder about data integrity. I kept copies of every communication. This wasn't just about policy, it was about principle, it was about preventing a cataclysm. The pattern solidified. Every week, a new, ill-conceived, technically dangerous demand. Every week I became the gatekeeper, the roadblock, the negative Nancy. He'd send emails ceasing the entire executive team, subtly accusing me of incompetence, claiming I was incapable of supporting forward-thinking initiatives. Each time, I responded with calm, factual explanations, citing specific policy paragraphs and security implications. Each response and his subsequent aggressive rebuttal was archived. My environment was the nerve center of Ether Dynamics. Racks of servers hummed a constant song, the air cool and dry. Fiber cables snaked like digital veins, connecting us to the world. Our primary network router, a hulking, enterprise-grade beast, was the heart. Its access control lists, or ACLS, were the immune system, filtering traffic, allowing the good, blocking the bad. It was my baby, and Dr. Thorne wanted to take a sledgehammer to it. The breaking point arrived with his latest innovation, a direct-to-customer data push for a new promotional AI model. It needed, in his words, unrestricted, lightning-fast egress from our internal network, bypassing all current filtering. He'd somehow convinced the CEO it was critical for a looming investor presentation. He called me into his office, a spacious, glass-walled cube overlooking the Viridia City skyline. His face was tight. Alex, I need to deploy my Apex push service tonight. The existing firewall rules are throttling it. I need you to open up port 8443 on the primary egress firewall to any external IP address. Immediately, I stared at him. Dr. Thorne, that's a direct route for any attacker straight into our network. It violates our perimeter security policy, exposes internal services, and bypasses all intrusion detection. Nonsense, he snapped. It's a temporary measure, just until the demo. I'll secure it properly later. Provide me with administrative credentials for the firewall. I'll do it myself. My stomach clenched. Admin credentials to the primary egress firewall. That was like handing over the keys to the city's power grid to a toddler with a wrench. My voice was calm, almost flat. I cannot do that, Dr. Thorne. Company policy explicitly states that administrative access to critical network infrastructure is restricted to certified network engineers only, and all changes must go through a documented change management process, including peer review and executive approval. He slammed his fist on the desk, making his coffee cup jump. I am an executive, and I approve this. Give me the credentials, Alex, or I'll have your job. This isn't a request, it's a direct order. I understand your urgency, Dr. Thorne, I said, looking him dead in the eye. However, I am bound by the terms of my employment contract, which includes adherence to all company security policies and procedures. Bypassing them would constitute a gross dereliction of duty on my part, and I could face severe personal and professional consequences, including criminal liability should a breach occur. He sneered. So you're refusing a direct order from a C-suite executive? I am declining to violate my employment contract and industry best practices, I corrected, which would jeopardize the entire company's security and reputation. However, I continued, if you wish to formally order this action in writing, acknowledging the security risks and assuming full personal responsibility for any consequences, I will comply. His eyes widened slightly. In writing, he repeated, his bluster wavering for a fraction of a second. Then it returned, stronger. Fine, if you're going to be a bureaucratic obstructionist, so be it. Send me the official form for executive-mandated high-risk network changes. I'll sign it, and when this works perfectly, Alex, remember who was right. He dismissed me with a flick of his wrist. I walked back to my office, my mind racing. This was it, the moment I had been anticipating. This was the specific kind of unvetted, executive-forced network modification that had brought down major companies before, much like the recent widely reported configuration errors causing enterprise-wide application outages. My hands trembled, not from fear, but from a surge of calculated anticipation. My master plan began. First, I drafted the executive-mandated high-risk network change order form. It wasn't an official company form, not really. It was a document I had meticulously crafted over the past few weeks, anticipating just such an incident. It quoted verbatim sections from the employee handbook regarding executive authority, a clause about assuming full personal and corporate liability for instructed actions, and a very precise section from the bylaws on individual accountability in cases of gross negligence or deliberate disregard for established security protocols. I emailed it to him, CCing Brenda and legal, though I knew only Dr. Thorne would likely read it thoroughly enough to understand the implications. His response was almost instantaneous, a digital signature, a hastily typed approved Thorne. He added a snide remark about my excessive paperwork. I replied with a single word, acknowledged. Then I went to work. Not on the firewall, not yet. I opened our internal ticketing system. I created a new ticket, Executive Mandated Egress Firewall Rule Change. I detailed the exact rule Dr. Thorne had demanded. Opening port 8443 to any external IP, I attached his signed form. I added a tag, Critical Risk Executive Override. I then went through our existing change management protocols meticulously. I scheduled the change for exactly when Dr. Thorne had demanded it be live for his Apex Push demo. I sent out an emergency change notification to all relevant departments. Network operations, security, development, even the customer support team, though I knew it would likely be ignored as just another IT communication. In the notification, I explicitly stated that this change was an executive mandate, bypassing standard security review processes due to critical business urgency. I archived every email, every form, every system log. I took screenshots of every step. I even recorded a short video of myself narrating the process as I uploaded the signed form to our secure document repository, linked it to the change ticket, and then, finally, configured the firewall. The entire process was flawless, documented down to the second. My hands, once trembling, were now steady, moving with the precision of a surgeon. The network rule went live at 7 p.m. It opened the digital floodgates. Dr. Thorne's Apex Push service went live simultaneously. At 7:03 p.m., the first alarms screamed, not from my network monitoring, from the customer support dashboard. Calls flooded in. Our customer-facing web application, the portal for all our AI logistics solutions, was down, completely inaccessible. At 7:05 p.m., internal communications started failing. Microsoft Teams disconnected. Our shared drives were unreachable, emails stalled. The internal network was collapsing. At 7:07 p.m., Brenda called me, voice tight with panic. "Alex, what the hell is happening? Our core services are offline. The entire Viridia City operations are blacked out." I calmly walked to the server room, my tablet in hand, displaying my meticulously documented timeline. It's the Apex Push, Brenda, Dr. Thorne's service. The open port combined with an unoptimized data push has created a massive routing loop within our public-facing network segment. It's drowning our border routers and effectively denying all legitimate traffic. A classic self-inflicted distributed denial of service. "Dr. Thorne just stormed into the data center," Brenda shouted. "He's screaming about some network failure and blaming your incompetent configuration." I arrived to find Dr. Thorne, red-faced, shouting into his phone, then slamming it down. "Alex, you incompetent fool, your firewall configuration has crippled us. Fix this now." He pointed a shaking finger at me. "This is on you, you messed up the port opening." I held up my tablet, displaying the change ticket, the signed form, the timestamps. "Dr. Thorne, the firewall rule was implemented exactly as you mandated, using the credentials you forced me to apply, and as documented in this executive-approved change order." He lunged forward. "That's a lie. You tampered with it. You're trying to cover your tracks." "I've got a complete audit trail, Dr. Thorne," I said, my voice cutting through the rising panic in the room. "Every step, time-stamped, signed by you, and witnessed by the system logs. Every email from you demanding this unvetted change, every response from me detailing the risks, all archived. The formal order you signed, explicitly accepting full responsibility for any consequences due to bypassing security protocols, is linked directly to this incident." Brenda pushed through the growing crowd of panicked technicians. "What are you talking about, Alex?" I showed her the tablet, the signature. Her eyes went wide. "Quentin, what have you done? This is ridiculous," Dr. Thorne shrieked. "I just wanted a simple port open. This is Alex's fault for not anticipating this." Anticipation of such catastrophic failures is precisely why our security policies and change management protocols exist, I stated, my voice like ice. "Protocols you repeatedly dismissed and ultimately circumvented with a direct executive order." I projected the change order, the signed form, onto the large monitor in the Network Operations Center. The room went silent. The fallout was spectacular. Within an hour, not just Brenda, but the CEO, the head of legal, and even a representative from the Viridia City Data Protection Authority were on site. The news of Ether Dynamics' complete system failure had already started to leak, impacting our stock price by over 10% in less than 2 hours. Dr. Thorne was confronted with the overwhelming, irrefutable evidence. He stammered, blustered, then tried to pivot, blaming everyone else. But my meticulous documentation, my calm presentation of facts, and the crystal-clear language of the form he himself had signed left him no room to maneuver. The DPA representative was particularly interested in the unrestricted egress of what could have been customer data, even if it turned out to be a routing loop. He was fired on the spot, for cause. Security escorted him out, his face a mottled purple. The CEO apologized profusely to Brenda and me. We spent the next 6 hours rolling back the change and stabilizing the network. It took us another 2 days to fully recover and restore confidence. Update: 2 weeks later, Brenda told me legal had officially filed a lawsuit against Dr. Thorne. Not just for wrongful termination, but for gross negligence and breach of fiduciary duty, leading to substantial financial damages for Ether Dynamics. The DPA is also investigating his prior company for similar, unvetted data practices. The tech news sites are having a field day. Update 2, 1 month later. Dr. Thorne's previous investors, learning of his pattern of reckless behavior, have joined the lawsuit. He's reportedly lost his penthouse in Viridia City, his luxury car, and his reputation is in tatters. Headhunters are actively warning companies about him. He's become a cautionary tale whispered in boardrooms. Brenda got promoted to VP of IT. I got a significant raise and a new title, Chief Security Architect. Update 3, 3 months later. Dr. Thorne declared personal bankruptcy. His apex push technology, it turns out, was a rebranded, slightly modified version of an open-source library, poorly implemented. The irony, I suppose, is that his innovation ultimately innovated nothing but his own downfall. I still have copies of all his emails, just in case. You never know when you might need a good paper trail.